Welcome to Okaloosa Today, local news and information. Connecting the communities of Fort Walton Beach, Destin, and Okaloosa County.
Welcome to Okaloosa Today on Cox. This is your monthly look at the city of Destin, Fort Walton Beach, and Okaloosa County. I'm Doug Rayner with the City of Destin, and today's Destin segment, we're going to be able to introduce our brand new City Manager, Carisse LeJeune. Ms. LeJeune, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Doug. I'm really happy to be here.
Well, we're happy you're here too. We came in recently as an interim. Council saw fit to hire you as the permanent city manager, and I think our staff will go right behind them and say that we agree, and I think they did a good job, and you too. So we're really glad you're here, and first time on the show, so welcome.
Thank you.
Part of the show is to really introduce you to our public, explain who you are, where you've been, what brought you here, and I'm just going to kind of open it up to that. Give us a little background on yourself, maybe where you grew up and things like that.
Sure. I'm originally from Southeast Louisiana, and I went to school at LSU in Baton Rouge. I started working when I was about 16 years old, if you don't count babysitting. I've been in just about every industry in the private sector, from banking to healthcare, food and beverage. In 1989, moved to Southeast Florida, and when I started to work for the city of Boynton Beach, I felt like I found my niche. I love the public sector. I love being able to give back to the community and help the people that I live with and work with, and it's just a really good feeling.
Your short time with us, it's been very apparent that you have a passion for public service. Your pedigree really shows that you've been diverse, not just in your previous life, but also in your public service, and it's really shown that you have a mind for it and an eye for it. And again, I think that's what our council saw in you, what our community is seeing now, and your dedication is really a great thing to have here.
Well, thank you.
Why did you come to Destin? Tell us about your journey here and what brought you here.
Well, I had worked my way up through the city of Boynton Beach, started out as administrative assistant, and my last position there was as the assistant city manager. My husband and I decided we wanted to move closer to my family in Louisiana, but we love Florida and we didn't want to leave. So I started looking for opportunities up here in North Florida. And when the City of Destin interim city manager position opened up, I thought it'd be a wonderful way to come and stay in the area and explore, the different opportunities here. I was very surprised when the council offered me the position full-time, but my family is so pleased, and I couldn't have asked for a better city to come work for. So I'm now a Destinite. Yeah,
you are, and you've gotten into it fast. You shouldn't have been surprised that they selected you, because they did it for a reason, and again, like I said, they made a wise choice. Now, Carisse, you're also an avid outdoorsman. I think you came here with a few things packed up to enjoy our outdoors. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Destin is a recreational paradise, and I am so looking forward to getting out with my kayak. I love paddling, and I've already been talking to some of the locals and finding out where the best paddling trails are, so I can't wait to get into the water. And I'm also a Harley rider, so I understand that there's some wonderful roads and road trips that I can take in the area. What I like to do most is to pack up my Harley with my camping gear and then find nice remote areas that I can just go camping and relax in nature.
This isn't the first time you've been to our little city, though. I mean, you came here a long time ago.
When my son was really little, we used to come up here and go camping and spend a week. Our friends from Louisiana, we all had sons within a year of each other, and we would come up here with the boys for about a week in the summer, and we would camp and enjoy the beautiful white beaches, and just had a great time.
Well, everybody has a Destin story. It doesn't matter where you go. I've lived all over the place, and everybody knows where Destin is, has a Destin story, and everybody wants to come here, and you did it. So
Yes.
again, glad you're here. I'm just going to get into what you really want to talk about, and that's the city of Destin and the business at hand. And we have a lot going on, and I think we'll start by mentioning that it's budget season, and we're in the process of just setting a tentative millage rate, and I'll just let you go from there.
Absolutely. I feel like I came into the city at a good time. I've had the opportunity to sit down with our finance director, Bragg Farmer, and meet with individually all of the department heads and go over their budgets, their daily operations, and their personnel issues. We are coming in with a flat budget at a 1.5 millage rate. However, the City Council wanted to set the tentative millage rate a little bit higher at 1.7 so that they could look at some of our infrastructure capital projects that we currently don't have funded. Stormwater is an example, or possibly one or two of those positions that are crucial to the city moving forward that we also don't have funding for. We will have a budget workshop on August 8th, and of course all of the citizens are invited to attend. It's a public meeting, and then on September 9th and September 20th we'll have our first and second budget hearings.
That's right, and those are the time when the public can come and watch what the council has to say, listen, and maybe even give some input, I think. We encourage that. We have always encouraged the public to come and participate in our meetings, August the 8th, of course, being the workshop, and then again in September, 2 meetings. We'll ask everybody to come back out and hear what the council has to say, staff has to say, and then the public too.
Absolutely.
So we have this millage rate tentatively set. We have a balanced budget at the moment at the current millage rate. There's a lot of things that this city is doing, a lot of projects, a lot of things where we're moving through. Let's start talking about some of the positives, some of the things that the city is really top of mind.
Well, one thing that's very exciting for me is all of our upcoming park projects, Clement Taylor, Leonard Destin, and of course the Captain Royal Melvin Heritage Park. We're going to be able to go forward with that now as well. We have Stormwater Project, Heritage Run areas, the beginning of a huge master plan for our stormwater projects. And then we also have the comprehensive plan amendments. The council just recently met, and there's some updates that they want to make to our comprehensive plan. So we're going forward with those.
And when we were talking about this show, you know, one of the things we mentioned was that we have a lot of things going for us, and some of that is that we do a lot of things not on the backs of the taxpayers, but we look for other dollars to help us make that happen.
A lot of our parks are, the major dollars are coming from grants that we have procured.
And that's awesome. And one more is the old concrete plant and expanding Joe's Bayou too, that I think we're looking at.
That's going to be a wonderful project. We're going to be able to add more boat slips and additional parking, and I think it's just going to be a wonderful thing for the community and our visitors.
Now, with the comp plan amendments that we're talking about there and the workshop that took place, there's a process that you will and staff will go through to make these things happen. Let's talk about that.
That's a very good question. We brought in the West Florida Regional Planning Council to facilitate the public meeting with the council to try to get their ideas on what it is that they want to change in the comp plan, being that we're looking at, you know, future redevelopment areas for the city. It's very important that you have your comp plan and your land development codes exactly as you need them. So the next step is a request for proposal that I've been working on and I'll be finishing up this week for a planner or land use planning firm to come in and work with staff and take the recommendations from the council and create the language that we can then send to the state for approval that we can then bring back and adopt into our comp plan. After that, the next step is to write the land development codes based on the new comp plan amendments. And those codes is actually the roadmap for development coming into the city when you have I know people have heard of site plan reviews. The developer comes in with their plans, and it's a land development code that actually regulates what they can and cannot do in the city. So this is a very, very important project and process. So we're making sure that we do everything right.
You know, we have a lot of positive things going on, and when I was talking to you before, we have some challenges, and you made it real clear that our challenges are not necessarily all bad. And let's talk a little bit about some of the challenging things we're working through.
Certainly. I never see a challenge as bad. Challenges come with opportunities. For one thing, redevelopment for the city. The city's 90% or so built out, and we're going to probably start seeing a lot of redevelopment activity within the next 5 years or so. We have a town center, CRA, which unfortunately is not funded now, but it will start being funded in the few years to come. I think there's great opportunity to redevelop and to really get into the town center master planning that's already been done. Also the Harbor Walk, that's also a CRA area, and we are dealing right now with some regulatory issues down there, but we have the opportunity to go back to the drawing board with our ordinances and create some stronger regulations that I believe will benefit not only the citizens but the businesses down there as well.
Let's expand on that one just a little bit more. I mean, we have the time to actually talk about what our council is doing specifically, you know, a little bit. They had a recent meeting where they talked about what maybe they could do down in our harbor district and on the harbor boardwalk to really help that area. Guide us a little bit through that conversation.
Certainly. One of the concerns that I'm sure all citizens and businesses have alike down in the harbor are the pontoon rentals and the wave runner rentals. And there are some very responsible business owners down there who have those type of businesses, but then we also have some folks that are not maybe sticking to the rules, as it were. So we're going to tighten up a regulatory process for registering pontoon boats and wave runners for the responsible business owners down there. We're looking at mobile vending, food trucks, kiosks, portable buildings, trying to create some definitions of what those are, what type we want down there, where we want them, and of course the parking that is associated with the additional visitors that come to take advantage of those types of businesses.
And if anyone has come to Destin in the summertime, there's no doubt that we are extremely busy. If you've been on the water, it's crowded. If you're walking the street, it's crowded. If you're on the boardwalk, restaurants, you know, traffic is crowded. I think that some of our council said it best that, you know, the goal is not to deter business and deter tourism. It is really to congratulate those who are doing it right, hold everybody accountable, and make it fair for everyone else. And that was loud and clear the other night.
Fair and enjoyable and comfortable. You know, make sure that when people come to the area that if you're going to use a business, that there's adequate parking space for the folks who are going to come down to the area. So that's a big issue that we're dealing with now too. But again, with challenges come a lot of opportunities, and I think that we can start thinking maybe a little bit outside the box, taking some best practices from around the state of how other folks have dealt with these exact same issues.
You're right, and I think we're starting to see in our council a little collaborative discussion at the dais where they're really leaning on one another and talking to one another in the public during the meetings to understand what's right and try to come to a good solution. And you've been helping them get there.
I'm so pleased with our council meetings. They've been so productive. The citizens have been responsive. They've been coming up with, you know, their concerns so that we can address them. Great ideas have been coming out from some of our citizen comments, and the council has really been a collaborative body to address these issues so that we can improve things in Destin.
That's right. That's right. Well, very good. Let's talk about something that you mentioned to me that I'm not really familiar with is, well, maintaining our green space. And you talked about some greenway initiatives and things like that. Let's tell our public a little bit about that idea.
Well, that happens to be a passion of mine. For a while at the City of Boynton Beach, I was a sustainability coordinator. So creating a livable, healthy, sustainable community is foremost on my list of things that we need to do as a public entity. And maintaining our green space is very important. When you start to lose your green spaces and your tree canopies, you create heat island effect, which affects the temperature of the area, it affects the weather, and people just like communities where you can walk on streets that have trees, where you can ride your bike to a park or a lake and enjoy the natural amenities that Destin has. But we have to be careful not to overdevelop the city, and those existing tree canopies and green spaces that we have, to preserve them by creating more linear parks, more greenways with nature and hiking trails, and biking that's safe for everyone.
Mm-hmm. You're right, and something that our council it really has top of mind is that a tree ordinance and looking at how we can. You can't really go back, but from here forward, reshape and re-look everything.
Absolutely. There's always a way to do things a little bit better. And again, looking at best practices from around the country, we're finding elements of other tree ordinances that we believe would be a good fit here in Destin, so that we can preserve what we have and protect and maintain it.
And you have a lot of work ahead of you. There's no doubt, but it just seems that things are going to progress and move in the right direction, especially with the council all on board with you and you on board with them, and of course your staff behind you. I think that some good things are to come.
I'm very excited. I'm a person that if I don't have a challenge, I'm bored. So I'm really looking forward to working with everyone, the citizens, the staff, the council here in Destin, to help move the city forward in a smart growth way.
Well, you'll do that. We have confidence. We have a couple of minutes left. Just want to leave us with something?
Sure. As you know, it's kind of a standing joke in our office that it seems that I've been here a whole lot longer than I actually have.
That is very true.
And I think that's because Destin is a good fit for me and for my family, and I feel very comfortable. I feel like I'm at home here in Destin, and I'm really, really happy to be here, and I hope I'm here for many, many years to come.
Oh, good. We look forward to that. And thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
We have a few things to tell you about. If you check our website, cityofdestin.com, all of our meetings are upcoming. As Ms. LeJeune mentioned, we have a budget workshop in August and then budget hearings in September. We actually encourage the public to come out to those, participate, be a part of our discussion. Anything else you'd like to see, check out our Facebook page. Stay tuned for the City of Fort Walton Beach next.